Good morning or good afternoon. My name is Ursula Pieper. I was a graduate student in George Sheldrick's group from 1988 to 1993. I now live in the US and I'm very sorry that I couldn't come to this meeting in person. I cannot overstate my appreciation for having had George in my life, and I would like to tell you a couple of stories. When I was in George's lab after finishing my master's, I became the designated system manager of the lab after Martin Beck graduated. For most of the systems, except the microvacs, Regina continued to administer that one. One day, a new numerical coprocessor had to get installed in one of the DOS workstations. You might not know these or remember them. They are about 1 inch square with what feels like 1,000 little pins. George talked me through how to install it. Align the pins, then push it all down with gusto and don't hesitate. And once it worked, he said, and that was 1,000 marks. I'm so glad I didn't screw up. Later in life, I became known for my fearlessness when dealing with hardware, and I always reminded myself of that incident when things got dicey. Don't hesitate. George was, of course, a giant crystallographer, and he was also a giant in computing. According to his stories, he was the first at University of Cambridge to write his PhD thesis on a computer, without a terminal, and having to write his own word processing program first. At least that's how I remember him telling us, and I found that quite impressive. And there are so many more things to tell about George. My colleagues from his lab, lifelong friendships, and so on. And my last visit a few years ago when I made him speak German the whole time, and he complained in the end. I want to close with this. I learned a lot from George scientifically and computer-wise. I'm now an IT manager for a group that manages science applications and databases. However, what I learned most from George is the importance of treating everybody well and with compassion, and trust people to get to their full potential. And from personal experience, I can say that it's not only the right thing to do, but in the work environment also the best way to create a true team and inspire people to take ownership of their work and projects. George Sheldrick was my doctor father, as we say in German, in the true meaning of the word. I will miss him forever. Thank you.